What's going on, guys? ShadowNinja here, and today I want to make a video talking about the meta in Warzone currently and the integration of Black Ops Cold War. Now, this might be a little bit of a long one, I'm not totally sure, but we're going to talk about the current meta first, and that the AUG is absolutely broken. We're talking DMR broken, M16 broken. We just can't seem to get a break in the meta for a while now. Now, there was a point where, the Growl was extremely powerful. The M4A1 and 725 in Modern Warfare was extremely powerful. This isn't our first rodeo, but I will admit with those weapons, they weren't in terms of game breaking. They were just extremely powerful and very good at what they're doing, and they're multitask and you can do things like that. DMR14, the M16, and the AUG, just their stats at some point have broken all physics of the engine in some realm of capacity. We have, the DMR, 2-shot headshot at all ranges basically. In Warzone, like we're talking deep 2, it was, very fast rate of fire. It was a lot of nonsense with that. Now we go over to the M16. It was basically a hit scan at almost all distances. Now the damage drop off did, tank, but again, it was a hit scan. The bullet velocity was insane for whatever reason, and it was just very, very spammy and very powerful, and could one burst, two burst people. It was insane. Now, in terms of the AUG now this shit is, I think in my opinion, slightly worse than the DMR to an extent. Now, probably not as powerful in terms of damage output, but in terms of recoil control, rate of fire, and bullet velocity, this shit is just insane, and I just can't play Warzone right now. Like, I'm having such an angry time with this game that it just really, really pisses me off, because I was absolutely loving this game even when the DMR, 14 was a meta. I was, I guess, annoyed, but I was somewhat okay. And then after that, it was a weird, peaceful time in Warzone where I was using everything. And now quickly it's turned from the M16 to that getting adjusted to now it's the AUG. And for whatever reason, when you use a 4x scope on the AUG, it has zero recoil, like literally zero recoil. It is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in a kill cam. It's just so infuriating. Now, where does this problem lie? Why does Raven Software keep fucking up the meta? Now, it's going to be a little bit more complicated than you think. It's not Raven's fault, in my opinion. I think it's Activision's fault, because they failed to bring all these studios in a production cycle where, we can actually have every single studio working on this new Modern Warfare engine, which is a superior engine. It is technologically better than the old Call of Duty engine. It can do a lot more things that the old engine can't do. So yes, Black Ops Cold War, it has its own things, whatever, they made the game work, it is what it is. But in terms of how they balance the game from Treyarch, or at least from that engine to this engine, is completely different. The stats don't align up at all. The physics engine of that game itself isn't the same physics engine of Modern Warfare's engine. It's not. It's entirely different. That engine never was built to have physics, bullet velocity, bullet drop, things in that nature. Blackout was the first iteration of that, and it was a very shitty bullet velocity in my opinion. Now, Modern Warfare does have a lot of more physically realistic traits to bullet velocity, which does work. But again, these are guns that are being balanced on two separate engines itself. And on top of that, when it comes to damage output, when it comes to things in that nature of, specific hitboxes, everything in terms of damage with the weapon to a player's health, it's entirely different. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if we look at, how Treyarch balances out the weapons, it's something I actually agree with. People don't understand why they use 150 health points. It's not that players have 150 health points. It's at the scale of 100 of health. Let's say your health is 100. The scale of that is varied through 150 variables, 150 points. So there's 150 lines till you get to 100% of your health. Now, Modern Warfare, they've always used 100 health points, so it lines up evenly with the 100 health. Now, the more numbers you have in between that small condensed 100% health, the more balancing tweaks, more specific changes you can do to change and adjust the balance of weapons. So in many cases, Modern Warfare should have maybe adjusted, or Infinity Ward could have adjusted to 150 health point system, but they've been doing balancing one way and Treyarch's been doing balancing another way. Two different styles of balancing. One's more for competitive play, the other's more for, public play, like pub stomping, things in that nature. Yes, I said Modern Warfare is pub stomping and Treyarch is Sweatville. I will stand by that statement, what I said. So when you bring over a weapon that is balanced off 150 health points, as well as a physics engine that doesn't have the same physics in terms of bullet velocity, bullet drop, just things in that nature compared to, you know, Modern Warfare's engine with Warzone. Things can get very, very messy. In some cases, you have, you know, developers just eyeballing it, I can imagine, in some of these cases. Like, that bullet velocity, we have to make it this bullet velocity. Next thing you know, you have 1,100 meters a second bullet velocity with the, what's it called? Well, I forget what it is, but the 1100 ms bullet velocity. I don't know how fast it is, but it's fucking extremely fucking fast apparently, because bullets just fly through Verdansk with this shit. But yeah, it's insane. And two problems lie the fact that I just don't think this integration in terms of these guns being on two different weapons are working. Attachments make no sense. Like, attachment in Modern Warfare to a degree makes sense visually. They look like they do certain things, but we have a barrel that's longer in Black Ops Cold War, but it makes your strafe speed faster. Like, some of these balance, like, it's clear that when Infinity Ward developed Modern Warfare, they had all these attachments with what they would ideally realistically do in the real world. And then Treyarch had attachments, but they decided to just make more attachments that did specific changes because they wanted to utilize the gunsmith, it feels like. Now, I'm not knocking them. I feel like they were probably forced into utilizing the gunsmith because of integration with Warzone, but the attachment system just doesn't line up. It's leading to so much chaos with the balancing meta. I feel bad for people at Raven that they have to fix this shit because it must be a headache. 1 week things are fine, the next week everything is hell breaking loose, all is crazy, and it's insane. But with that being said, that's pretty much my minor rant. None of this is, again, I'm not blaming Treyarch for utilizing the old Call of Duty engine. You know, they were given a certain task in a certain amount of time, and I bet they couldn't use production time to learn a new engine, to make new assets. A lot of the assets we see have been in their engine, the old engine, forever. So it does make sense, and they're fine for doing that. It's not their fault, it's Activision's fault. In terms of Raven trying to balance out their game, I hit my funny bone hard as fuck. Ow. But in terms of Raven trying to balance out, you know, Warzone, they're stuck because they're judging this off different variables, different physics engine from a whole different engine. So they're getting stuck of, you know, either making the weapon shitty. Again, there's the Farah 83 is phenomenal, and I mean phenomenal in Black Ops Cold War, but it does not hold up at all in Warzone. I don't get why, but yeah, with that being said, let me know what you guys think about the meta currently. I really hope, word on the street is that they're going to patch this all real soon because it is insane. And until then, I don't see myself playing Warzone. Maybe if I just feel like I want to put myself in pain, I play it. But until then, your boy ShadowNinja is not playing Warzone until this all gets adjusted. But yeah, with that being said, let me know what you guys think about the meta currently in Warzone and just my thoughts. If you guys, you know, understand what I was saying with why things are going wrong so frequently with Black Ops Cold War weapons. And if you guys want more Call of Duty videos from me, whether it's Warzone, Modern Warfare, or even Black Ops Cold War at times, definitely hit that subscribe button for getting at all that good content. With that being said, I am out of breath, I am angry thinking about the AUG, and I'm gonna let you guys go. So with that being said, ShadowNinja here, and I'm out.